Welcome to the Calm Cantina, where we talk Star Wars rumors, Star Wars news, leaks, and everything in between. So grab a drink, pull up, and enjoy yourself in the Calm Cantina, and let's get into this. So there's been a number circling around social media, 85%. What is this 85%? Well, this is the box office drop from The Force Awakens to The Mandalorian and Grogu. There has been an 85% drop off in box office totals. That sounds pretty crazy. And so people are taking this and running with it, saying, hey, look, Disney drove away 85% of its fans. I do think it's a little bit more complicated than that, where, hey, look, we're in this streaming world. The Mandalorian and Grogu probably is going to hit Disney Plus in a month or so. So a lot of families tend to stay home. Hey, look, let's just watch this. It's so expensive to go to the movies now. There's a variety of factors. But of course, then you have Spider-Man, which is probably going to bring in over $1 billion. So what is the excuse for Star Wars? Well, one could say make better stories. And that's where we have this report from Jeff Sneider, where he outlines Lucasfilm's future plans for Star Wars movies. So let's go over it. Lucasfilm is set to target an audience from 10 to 70. But it does say here that they're focused on teens and young adults. 10 to 70 is a crazy range. That's pretty much anyone who watches movies. Like most of the people who live on the earth today, right? Like that 10 to 70 is kind of crazy to actually have that in a plan. But again, it's showing that they're focused on teens and adults. They're going to use AI for environment and special effects. Makes sense as a cost-cutting measure in business. The better AI gets, they might as well use it. I'm sure Disney is heavily invested in the AI space. They want to build stories to fit Filoni's overarching framework. So maybe there'll be some continuity finally, where, hey, look, don't make this without knowing this information. We're going to have someone double checking that there is some continuity and that we're not going to be breaking some of the lore that already exists. That's always a good thing, right? So I like it so far. It's very general and broad and seems like they should already have this plan. But the next one is that they're going to have 2 shows and a movie every single year. The movies are set to kind of move forward the shift into the next saga. So there has been rumors where they're doing another trilogy, episode 10, 11, and 12. What are we going to hit? Episode 20? But, you know, I guess this is their next step. If they're going to focus on Rey in the Skywalker like saga and trilogy and continue that, it only makes sense to have Rey in this next set of movies, which some people say, I'm not watching it then. I mean, if they make good stories, people will watch. And that's what it's all about with Star Wars. Going back to the 2 shows and 1 movie, some people are saying that this is too much Star Wars. Personally, I can't get enough Star Wars. As long as it's good Star Wars, right? I don't want them to keep putting out episodes or shows, I guess, like the Book of Boba Fett. Like, to me, that was insanely boring, and he wasn't even the main character in his own show. Kenobi, half of it was good. I think the Kenobi Invader dynamic was awesome to watch, but then, of course, you have other storylines that I wasn't necessarily a fan of. The Acolyte, we don't even need to talk about that. But if they start to put out stuff that actually is good, like maybe it's an animated series like Maul, and then, you know, you have another live action like Ahsoka, or something to that tune, and then they have a movie that ties in everything, I would totally be down for that, as long as the movies are good. I think the movies being good is way more important than the shows. And again, it's set to set up this New Republic era. You know, if they're telling good stories, I don't care what it's about, it's Star Wars. And that's where I'm at on that. But it also says that films are expected to be high stakes, carry clear vision, establish worlds, and tell interconnected stories. So everything needs to build up to one other thing. I think lately, like when you watched The Mandalorian and Grogu, you knew neither one of them was more than likely going to die. I don't think there was any stakes in that movie. I don't think there was any risk. I think it was very safe. It wasn't like out of the ordinary. There was really, again, no stakes in this movie. It was a very generic storyline. And if you guys remember, there was rumors about season 4 coming out. Then season 4 is canceled, but then with all COVID, and then you had Mandalorian and Grogu come out, which maybe they had written season 4, and that's why Mandalorian Grogu seems like just a whole bunch of episodes strung together, because maybe this actually is season 4 just in movie form, because the episodes sometimes are only 25 to 30 minutes. So it's quite possible that they had a 6-episode season or even an 8-episode season planned. They just mashed it all, cut out some other stuff that was filler, and there you go. They are going to focus on 18 to 25 emerging talent. So they want young actors and actresses to come up and be a part of Star Wars for the long term. Makes total sense. Again, they want to have their star lead be there for the long haul, tell many stories, involve them in many different movies. You know, movies take a while, so maybe it's a 2 to 3 year shoot, or maybe not, because they are also said, as far as movies, to be moving away from the standalone. I guess I forgot to mention that with the 2 movies and with the 2 shows in 1 movie. They are moving away from standalone films, and standalone films will be extremely rare. So maybe with the emerging talent, they want to build a trilogy around this character, and that's what they're going to focus on for this 10-year plan. Maybe it'll end up being like the Marvel Universe, where they say, hey, look, this is a 10-year galaxy plan. Here we go. They draw the whole story out in all 10 years at once, and that's what it is. They stick to this plan. They get good directors, good storytelling directors, and focus on that continuity. Now, the last thing here is that they want Star Wars to remain special, which I think everyone can agree, and that's where people are worried about 2 shows in 1 movie won't feel special. You know, if you love Star Wars, it's going to feel special anyway. As long as it's good Star Wars, right? I think that's where, you know, people kind of get confused. I think good Star Wars is different from poorly written Star Wars, and continuity and lore breaking is different from, you know, being super invested in actually being accurate and following everything in the universe that's already fleshed out. So again, if Star Wars remains special, you can do these 2 episodes, the 1 movie and everything. I think it will make total sense. So again, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you guys in the Calm Cantina next time.